Okay, here we go again. This is God Talk. God Talk 7. Let's go. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on?
All right. All right, man. Here we is, God Talk. I'm gonna start this thing off, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this one, man. This one, and I thought it was kind of crazy, but I just want to hear you guys' opinion. So check it out.
City has a new plan to try to provide young families with financial stability.
It's a pilot program for what's known as guaranteed income. 200 young parents are going to get $1,000 a month for 24 months. WMAR2 News' Mark Rober's at the Inner Harbor Mount with more details on that program. So, Mark, what do those young families have to do to get that money?
Good morning, Christian and Megan. Well, they have to fill out an application to show that they are in need and prove that they are eligible. But once they're picked, basically they can spend the money however they want. The only real requirement is that they agree to share their experience and information with researchers. Now, getting the $1,000 a month does require a bit of luck besides filling out that application. Applicants have to be young parents between 18 and 24 years old. Other requirements include they have to be either the parents or guardians of a child and have income at or below 300% of the federal poverty level based on their household size. They also will have to agree to take a survey. Then everyone who's eligible will be placed into a lottery to select 200 recipients of the cash. Applicants will fall into one of four groups. For Group A, the city will select 70 people who will have to share their experiences with how they live their lives after receiving the guaranteed income. In Group B, the city will choose 130 people for a research study about the guaranteed income program. Another group of people will be selected as a control group for the research study, so they won't receive any money, but they will be able to receive incentives for taking part in the program. And then the last group of applicants is made up of those people who didn't get picked at all to participate in any part of the program. Now, the pilot program is called the Baltimore Young Family Success Fund, and is a collaboration between Baltimore City, the Cash Campaign of Maryland, and Mayors for a Guaranteed Income.
We see so many times that people don't have enough money to get through the whole month. They're short. There's a constant juggling of competing priorities. This is going to bring consistency and stability to these families and help them ultimately to meet their financial goals.
Now, anyone interested in applying for the program can do so between May 2nd and May 9th. You can do that online or at one of the several sites the city will have around the city that you can sign up in person. And for more information on how to do that, just look for the story on our website, WMAR2news.com. We're live at the Inner Harbor. Mark Roper, WMAR2 News.
So, gentlemen, what do y'all think about this pilot program? We got 200 applicants going to receive $1,000. Now, initially, I heard about this before. They was talking about doing it in a lot of other urban cities. So this is like a test run to see how this thing going to go. So what do you guys' opinion on that?
I mean, I don't see any different from, like, I guess I would have to read the qualifications, because there are programs out there now that help what they consider family, but it's single moms, getting assistance without the dad being in the house. So I wonder if when they say family, do that consist of man, woman, and child?
Probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
I'm with Cleve on that. I would like to kind of read through the information, but just listening to the information that the reporter gave, it's a pilot program, that they want to monitor. So it's almost like they want to see exactly what it is that you're doing with the money, right? How it's spent,
exactly,
etc.
Yeah.
So they're going to monitor your spend over 24 months. So essentially, that's what you're getting paid to do, right? You're getting paid for them to monitor, to pull research on that. So in my mind, though, it makes me wonder, how accurate is the information going to be? Because those people do know that you're going to be monitoring them.
Right.
That's for one. And then for two, what do you plan on doing with that data? You know, once it's collected. So, and then three, the requirements, right, seem like a very stiff, stiff set of rules or qualifications in order to, to gain, because, after you fill out the application and all that, then there's a lottery, right? So, I mean, if it's out there and it's free, why not apply for it? But you got to jump through a lot of hoops just, to apply for that, to in turn have somebody monitor you for 24 months. And what they didn't say is what they plan on doing with that data.
What you think, Brother Terrell?
I mean, as soon as I heard it, man, honestly, I was just thinking, this thing format is pretty much the stimulus checks. I mean, basically, like, the only difference is that they chose a age bracket. I just wanted more information on, why did they choose that age bracket, like the more younger generation, than if they really want some, more accurate information. Why not choose like a older age that has skilled children or something like that will probably give them more information that they need. I don't know. It just seems like something's not right with it, but I need more information on it.
When I first heard it, I thought I didn't like it. I didn't like it because, again, I just felt like it was exploitation again.
Mm-hmm.
It's a new reform of welfare. I think, again, I don't mind. I do believe in helping people that need help. Let me say that. But I do believe that sometimes when in our community, and I come from, the ghetto, I've seen a lot of people, they've been programmed to not be motivated, to not want to push to better themselves financially.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they're going to use this, I think they should, if they're going to implement this pilot, they should implement financial literacy. That's what I think. Because this money, they say they can spend it however they want. So you already know the Gucci flip-flops coming. You know the lashes coming. You know the shopping coming. I mean, it just comes with it. So the cycle is not going to stop because you're not teaching them anything. They just know they got an extra $1,000 coming down the pipeline. That's it. These people are already receiving government funding. Government funding already exists. They already receive food stamps. They already receive based on income. They already got programs that are already cemented in the system. So this is just like you said, Therese, it's a stimulus, but again, it's not nothing in line to help them understand the importance of money
and the value. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What to me was crazy, Daniel, how you touched on just being educated on money. I wonder why politicians, especially Black politicians, who understand and know what we went through as far as getting jobs and everything, why they don't focus on creating jobs, one, and two, why they don't focus on getting people, to pick up a skill. Because if you teach people a skill, it will go a long way.
It stays.
Yeah, it stays.
Yeah, it goes nowhere. I mean, you can always apply it.
To me, when politicians start talking about that, I will support them because that's something that we lack in our community. Like you teach a man to fish, hey, he could provide for his family, and I think that's what we lack in. As far as from our politicians, they quick to give money and stand there on camera and say, look, I gave $500 to this group of people for 2 years or $1,000. But I have not seen a politician yet to say, hey, look, we have, set up programs to teach, people how to, electricians, mechanics, plumbers, you know what I'm saying? See that, like, what? These programs to me make more sense. And guess what? It will help. You really don't have to even though you do have to fund it, but if people are serious about learning and becoming, being able to provide for their family, you can release that leash. It's almost like they want to keep us on a leash. They let the leash go a little bit, but then they're gonna pull it back because we need them in order to provide that family. But yeah, get some programs in these communities. Get some programs in the community. Damn the money.
Right, but when they talk about the money though, that's what I'm saying. The young. That's why I said why they choosing that age bracket for a reason. Because when you're talking like $1,000 a month to somebody who's 20, 22 years old, something like that, they're not hearing all the other things. They thinking like, I'm gonna get this for a whole year, and just like Daniel said, what is
24
it
months.
What is it go? Yeah. Oh, twice a month?
Yeah,
No, 24 months, 2 years.
2 years.
Once a month for 24 months, right?
Okay, 2 years, 2 years. But it's just like you said, Daniel, like, what is it going to be utilized on? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
And you're right. The hairstyles, the eyelashes, all that is coming because for the fact is that that's what they're doing now. And there's not a difference in what they're doing except for just like you said, monitoring it. It doesn't make sense to me.
And we got to understand too, as melanated people, especially in the urban community, we got to understand nothing is free.
Facts.
Nothing is free. And we still thinking that this money just keep coming out the sky, and we already, I mean, as a nation, we already on the trillions of dollar deficit, and we talking about still giving some money to some, and so even though it's a small amount, but it's a lot in that community. It's a lot in the urban community when you're talking about. I get it. People have needs, but again, you're still teaching our peoples to be beggars. That's just my opinion.
For 2 years, though. Two years. What's going to happen after 2 years?
It's just the cycle. It's just welfare recipient mentality. I'm always looking for something free.
Of course, this person is not going to be working. They're not going to be able to work in order to receive this money.
That's what I'm saying, right? So for 24 months, they can't show any income higher than, I think you said, 300% below the poverty.
Right. So basically, sit on your tail.
Right. They collect this money.
Right.
And then that's what they say they're going to monitor. They're going to monitor you for 24 months. And I'm so while it'll help those 200 families temporarily, at the end of the day, what are you doing with that data? Will it be used against them? Right.
Yeah.
In some way, because again, like many of you guys said, you giving $1,000 a month for somebody badly working, right? Like, what are you expecting them to do with that money?
You know what they're gonna do.
And you said 300 people, right?
It's 300% below.
No. How many people?
200 applicants.
So that's not even a street. That's like one community.
Yeah,
that's one.
Yeah, that's like an apartment complex.
Right. And that's why I said all the hoops you got to jump through to get to that. You got to get. You're going to be in a lottery. You're going to be picked in a lottery. While I do, I'm all for helping people too. This didn't really seem like much help. It seemed like at the end of the day, it could wind up hurting the larger community that actually needs something when they start pulling this data.
So,
right.
So what's that? That's like what, 200 grand, right? Isn't that 200 grand a year, like total?
Yeah.
But it's still
240 to be exact.
Okay. Like, you're gonna say 200 people? Like, come on, man. That makes no sense. You might as well not even do this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I think it's a political ploy. Yeah, I'm implementing this to help the poor people. Y'all vote for me type of crap too. It is almost election.
And that's why I brought up the politicians, because they the one that's pushing this whole program thing. Yeah, put programs in there to where people can pick up a trade and, you know what I'm saying, go out here and provide for their family. That's a bunch of
I agree.
That's foolish.
Okay, we're gonna move forward. So I was reading the article the other day, and Shaquille O'Neal, he admitted that he initially didn't like Karl Malone. He thought Karl Malone was a sellout, country brother, and they're different from city brothers. So I thought that was interesting because I think a lot of times when we coming from the city, us melanated brown guys, when we come from the city, we think everybody's supposed to be like us because that's all we see. If we see entertainers, they talking like us, they moving like us. And there are black people who live in a rural area who never came to the city to live, that still deal with horses, still deal with cows, still got farms, still raise chickens, still know how to eat off the land. There are black people in the United States live this life even as we speak. So I thought it was very noble for Shaq to admit that he was wrong, but it also showed growth. So, fellas, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I've seen that. I seen him talk about that. Because he was looking at Karl Malone, especially once he heard Karl Malone talk, he was like, "Oh man, this
right,
this is country as hell."
Yeah, it's all thinking.
But we all pretty much go through the same thing in America. We pretty much all go through the same thing.
Yeah, but to think that he's thinking that he's a sellout because he's talking different. To think he's a sellout because he's into hunting, fishing, things of that nature. He's thinking that Karl Malone was a sellout when Karl Malone is a country boy.
Yeah, but that I'm glad he got a chance to know Karl Malone and get a better understanding, because hell, I mean, we used to be farmers. I mean, that's how we was able to provide. And it's like when I would go to Savannah, or when I would go to my wife's family in Columbus, Georgia, they laugh and laugh at us. They be like, y'all city folk, y'all don't know this, y'all don't know that, because they do the exact same thing.
Right.
But once we all sit down and start talking and communicating, we see that it's all the same. We all in the same situation. They just don't believe in fast life. They live it. They take and enjoy life one day at a time. Us, we on a bus, on a plane, on a train. Like we moving. We dealing with traffic and all that. But with them, yeah, they sit on their part, they drink their coffee, they pick their peas, and go to the farmer's market and get they fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. Hell, that's what I want to eventually end up doing. City life to me is overrated, man. Everything overpriced. Everything's overpriced.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What you got, Jay?
Yeah, so I heard that too, and it just put me in the mindset of, just how a lot of us are in general, right? And what I mean by that is you judge a book by its cover, right? And just because something is different than how you came up, or has a different experience, right?
Right.
The thing that we learn to do though is to judge, right? And assume. And you know what they say about, assume. When you assume, we all know.
Right.
We all know the saying associated with that. Because growing up, and it came with maturity. And I'm with y'all. I'm glad Shaq did come out and acknowledge that. But we do that a lot. We see somebody, they dress a certain way, they talk in a certain way, but we don't understand the background, where they came from, their experiences. And a lot of that plays a part. He was raised that way. So, where Shaq thought he was putting on, right? He was bojangling and tap dancing. You got to realize that was that man's life, right?
Right.
Those are things that he learned. But on the flip side, you got to think about it. People have judged Shaq too, right? The thing about it is Shaq's father, Shaq moved around, but Shaq's father was military based.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that people don't appreciate about Shaq. His perspectives, right? How strict he is and things like that. But he'll tell you the hobby he got it from his father. His stepfather, though.
Right.
He would have been a totally different Shaq had he been raised by his biological father.
Or if his mother just raised him by herself.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, by him making that statement, it just showed the level of maturity that had to happen on its own. right? Nobody could make him do that. He had to go through that on his own and experience that on his own. But when he put that out there, though, there's a lot of us out here who can definitely relate to Shaq's experience. You know, reading, judging the book by its cover.
Right. What you got, T?
Nah, man, I totally agree with all three of y'all, man. Anybody that I feel that recognizes when they've done something wrong and they can put their pride to the side and admit to it and bring it out, you know what I'm saying, in conversation, I got nothing but respect for that. Because for Shaq to, you know what I'm saying, admit to that takes a lot of, you know, for somebody to do, especially if they made a bold statement like that. Because there's multiple people, players, I'm talking about NBA, NFL, you know, like African American, that play in these high end sports that are really good and they really humble, they low key. Like I can't remember his name, but it's a defensive lineman on the Tampa Bay, and they did like a documentary on him. I can't remember his name, but they showed that he was raised up on a farm and he wanted the like toughest, you know what I'm saying, defensive lineman for Tampa Bay. You know what I'm saying? He said that he just was used to, you know, like hauling a lot of hay, you know what I'm saying, and his hands are just strong because he could tackle somebody with one hand. But and he taught the little country, so I was like, man, I got a lot of respect for that because once you get to know the person, and Karl Malone, you know, you ain't never really hear nothing. You ain't hear nothing bad about him. He was just a laid back dude. I think he ended up after playing in the NBA, he became a truck driver. Then something like that. I thought he became a truck driver.
He's always dipped and dabbed with big trucks.
Big trucks, yeah.
He's always dipped and dabbed. Tractors and all that.
Yeah, so I got respect for it, man. I got respect for Shaq doing that.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that it's growing up, and then after this, we can move forward. I just know it as a growing up. You know, we did kind of judge guys who dressed a little different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we did that because we considered them not hip, you know, not cool.
Right.
And you know, and I think it was a very noble thing for Shaq.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so let's move forward. Another article I read was 50 flight attendants. They got fired. They violated their contracts. They were supposed to be on standby. They're considered junior flight attendants. So they decided they wasn't going to answer their phones during the time, or if they went on a flight. So let's say they were scheduled to go on a flight today. So they was going to call in tomorrow, even though they were supposed to be on call, because they knew another call was going to come for tomorrow. So anyway, 50 of them lost their jobs because it's a senior-based system. They are reserved and on call to be ready within 2.5 hours if called. The flight attendants, they didn't answer their phones, so disregarded to them losing their jobs. And this is the flight. It was American Airlines.
American. I was about to ask you what airline.
American Airlines. Yeah, man. I thought that was crazy.
I'm gonna dive into this one first, man, because I was a flight attendant for 4 years, man.
I didn't know that, man.
For Delta Airlines, man.
Okay.
I've known Cleveland for 22 years, and I was doing it when I first moved. That's what got me to Atlanta. I went to business college in Florida, and Delta Airlines came there and recruited me and like 15 people that I was hanging with there. So you want to work for us, you got to relocate to Atlanta. I said, say less. So that's what got me here. But started off as a reservationist, but then I did the flight attendant thing for 4 years, man. And I was on Ready Reserve. And you got to, back then, we had the beepers. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You had to be ready at all times. It didn't matter what time.
At all times.
Yeah, it didn't matter. That was your responsibility. That was your part of keeping, you know what I'm saying, your career, you know, upbeat and making sure that, you know what I'm saying, you weren't gonna lose your job. So I totally put it on those attendants because that's their responsibility. And they, you know what you're doing. You're trying to like beat the system. But when you're trying to beat the system, you're gonna end up losing your job. So I feel that, you know what I'm saying, there's no way of working around that. Everybody goes through Ready Reserve when they're a flight attendant. And I remember it like yesterday, man, they work you like crazy. But if you really want that money, you really want your career, you're gonna do you're gonna do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So you on standby and
right. And when they call you, you have 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
So wherever you're doing, you got to drop it, but you got 2 or 3 hours to stop what you're doing, Get yourself together, and you need to be heading toward that airline.
Yeah.
And this was here in this country, or was it
Oh,
outside?
American Airline.
Oh, you said American Airline. Okay. And so
You said 50?
Yes, 50.
God.
what I don't understand is why are these people thinking that they couldn't get fired? Like,
Well,
that's
as the article got more in detail, what happens is when they go, so like Terrell he could vouch since he's experienced in this field. When they got on the call, let's say they got a call for today. So by them getting that call today, Cleve, they're thinking, well, I ain't working tomorrow. You know, that type of mentality. So they did their job today because they was on call. They obeyed that part. Then the next day, I need you to go somewhere else. They didn't answer their phone. So
and they all probably said they ain't gonna fire all of us.
I'm tired. Look, I'm tired.
Or if I don't answer, they'll just call Corey now. You know,
Right. Or they can't. How can they fire me? Because they don't know what I'm doing. You know, they're thinking small minded now.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't answer, they don't know what's going on. I could have been sleep, sick, dead. You know, that's small mind thinking.
But 50 of them, fellas, they
50 of them,
they always on a group chat like us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
they playing this together. So whoever
They say they can't fire all of us.
Right, whoever
And
was
they
the
did.
leader that said that part, they ain't gonna fire all of us. They need to go back and holler at him because
Yeah.
that was just crazy.
And it's funny because I like the other day I heard a truck driver say he just was talking about you know, basically saying that, man, they need me more than I need them, right?
Yeah.
And I overheard him having this conversation with another driver because he was saying that the company that he drives for, they got like 15 drivers or whatever. He's saying he one of the best drivers, this, that, and the third, and they want him to do this, they want him to do that, and they need me more than I need him. When he said that, I said, boy, I hope that nut don't have a family, and I hope he don't have somebody depending on him because
they replaced like that.
Yeah.
Man, they will replace
Wrong
you.
mentality. That's the wrong mentality to have for an adult with responsibilities.
They will replace you so fast, man. Like, come on, dude. I looked over there at him, and the dude he was talking to, he was standing there looking like, yeah, man, yeah, you right. I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Right.
But go ahead and keep thinking that.
Right.
They will replace you, man.
That's crazy.
It's silly, man. Just silly,
So,
man.
I have no remorse. Jay, you got something to say on this, or you good?
Well, so yeah, I was just gonna say, it's kind of like I was trying to think of the comedian's name. He was saying in reference to women, right?
Right.
T.K. Kirkland.
Okay.
One of his mottos is, right? You know, he was basing it based on women, but I'm gonna apply it to what we're talking about. And it's like sometimes people get in the know just because you may wind up being good at something, right? We think they only make one of those, right? So that's like a pistol, right? You know, sometimes you get into it with somebody and they'll flash the pistol at you, but they forget they made more than one of those.
They made more than one.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it comes to a man or a woman, they made more than one of those, right?
Right.
So like when people get in the notion, man, and thinking that without me, none of this would be possible.
Everything gonna cease.
Yeah.
Because of my existence.
Yeah, people find out very quickly, man, that while some things you can replace immediately, some things will take time, but there's always something that can replace you, right?
Right.
And the thing about it is it may not perform as well as you, but we can all be replaced in some capacity. So the fact that
100%,
you know, even with the truck driver, there's truck drivers signing up for school every day.
Facts.
Right? There's chefs going to culinary art school every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's nurses right now applying for nursing school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's one of those type of things. We just got to be very careful, right? We got to be very careful. Even though you may do something amazing, you ain't the only person that was created here with drive and passion, right? And the willingness to research and stay up late, right? And get up early. You're not the only one with that passion and that drive. So when you start thinking like that, kind of back alluding to what Cleveland said, you'll never see it coming, right? Because in your mind, you believe that there was absolutely nothing, right, that they'll be able to do to you. And then, you know, like those 50 flight attendants, they found out the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And look, believe me, before they came, they probably took somebody spot who thought they couldn't be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And the airline, they really had to do that to make an example, right?
Point, yeah.
Because again, just like those flight attendants and the way that they think, it's another 50 that think the same way, right? So
Yeah.
again, with a lot of the positivity and negativity on both sides, they ain't make just one.
That's so
It's some other folks out there who think the same way that 50 did. The thing
Yeah.
about it is they'll wind up having to think twice about it, right? Because not only did it happen, it's public knowledge that 50 folks was let go. They can no
Right.
longer provide for their
Right.
families based
Right.
on the decision that they was making. So it's like, now, not only are we gonna do this, we're gonna make it public.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a news conference.
Right.
They said we can show you better than we can tell you, right?
Right.
Right.
We're gonna make this public.
Wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Dan, you froze? Look like he froze.
Yeah, Daniel done brought back some memories, man. That flight.
Oh, I thought he was taking pictures.
Nah, he froze. But yeah, he brought back memories, man, with that one, man. The flight attendant thing,
All right.
man. That's crazy.
What the time still ticking? Okay, he back.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm back, man. I had to I don't know, my system it jumped on that old router, and I got my new router here, so I'm like, no, this ain't right. So I'm back on board. So yeah.
Hey, look, back to what we just said. They made more than one router. They made more than one router.
Fact.
Don't let that router do you like that, man.
Oh, hey, that's why I got the good one. Hey, that's why I got the good one. What happened was my computer picked it up. I don't know why. So this the one I got right here. This the better one, but for some reason it jumped back over there and just picked up by itself. I didn't do it. Yeah, but yeah, man. But to those 50 flight attendants, man, I mean, y'all got to do better. I don't feel sorry for you.
Nah.
I don't.
Nah, not at all.
All right, so we're gonna move forward. So you got this Detroit drug dealer. I don't know if y'all heard about this one. This was crazy. This guy is so creative. He got a vending machine attached to the house. You can use your credit card. You can use what's that? I want to say, I'm not sure if it's crypto, but I know you can use your credit card. You can use your debit card, and he was selling marijuana, making $2,000 a day on the vending machine.
Out the vending machine?
You said
Out the vending machine.
And you said it was attached to his car? I mean, to his
Attached
house?
to his home.
To his house, I mean?
Right. So check it out.
Hey, hold up, wait a minute.
No, not chips or a candy bar. That comes after what you get out of this vending machine.
I used it probably like 4 or 5 times.
The voice of an anonymous customer and the one who took this viral video of how the marijuana vending machine works.
He was selling like souvenirs.
That's code, obviously. Machine took credit cards, even Apple Pay.
Apple Pay.
Service. I think that it just got out of hand. It's just things you can't do.
That video there says it all. The feds, the ATF, they've seen it all. But a marijuana vending machine bolted to the side of someone's house on the west side of Detroit, that's a new one.
I have to say the brazenness of it was shocking. The estimates were about $2,000 a day.
Fam, what it do? We got a crazy one to bring to the table. Apparently a Detroit man been selling weed outside his house for over 4 years. And check this out, fam. When the feds found out, that's what he told them. Because that wasn't even what they was investigating them for. But grab your popcorn, fam. And remember, before we get into this, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. Fam, today we got to take it to Detroit. And Detroit been popping, especially in the music scene. We got many notables, such as Babyface Ray, Ice Wear Vizzo, and 42 Doug. Free 42 Doug, he just recently got arrested by the feds. But today, fam, we ain't talking about no entertainer or no rapper. We talking about an everyday citizen. And in terms of the police, a criminal. Shaking my head. And the guy we talking about today, fam, is a guy that go by the name of Marcellus Cornell. And according to authorities, he's a Detroit drug dealer. But when the feds first got a whiff of him, fam, and started their investigation, it wasn't even about drugs. See, according to authorities, the childhood home that Marcellus had always grew up in, authorities claimed that he told them that he was selling drugs outside of his home for around 5 years by simply adding a vending machine to the side of his house, family. But family, according to authorities, this wasn't just any vending machine. Family, I want to know who made it. Because check this out. This was included in the vending machine. It said it had a navigation system complete with a touchscreen, ammunited characters, a voice command option, and a slew of drugs for its paying customers. The machine even accepted credit cards and along with Apple Pay. Fam, he was basically operating like McDonald's. And according to reports, family, it said the 46-year-old drug dealer nearly made $2,000 a day in his vending machine for nearly 4 years until he got busted and on the radar by the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, fam. Apparently, they was on his trail for selling illegal firearms out his home, fam, and to minors. Fam, I'm honestly lost, because if you was that smart to do that vending machine, why are you boo-booing when you sleep? And then dumb it down, fam, why in the world is this man selling guns outside of a home where he's having a successful business that haven't been in the radar? But according to authorities, fam, when they approached him and found 18 guns in his home, he then told them about his weed business and his vending machine outside of his home.
Say a man was operating a vending machine that dispensed marijuana. The amount of money they say he pocketed was astounding.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig shows you the evidence and just how the feds made the discovery.
The family of Marcellus Cornwell did not want to say anything on his behalf to us, but there's a video going around on social media that may tell investigators all they need to know.
Wow.
You know, he was shocked that we came there. As far as some of the other things were going on with him, you know, natural human reaction like, oh, look, I got caught.
On the side of this house on Detroit's west side is where federal investigators say they found the marijuana vending machine belonging to 43-year-old Marcellus Cornwell. And this video shared with us by ATF is part of the evidence they've collected.
Watching the video on YouTube, you can watch somebody walk up. They can either insert a $20 bill. They can insert whatever denomination they wanted, even took credit cards, walked up, insert the form of payment, selected the amount of marijuana that you wanted, dispensed it, came out in a little hopper, you just stuck your hand in, you had little baggies of marijuana at your disposal.
ATF agents say Cornwell was making about $2,000 a day, and he allegedly told them the marijuana vending machine was up for about 4 years.
When the vending machine is open to the public.
Yeah, that's
okay. So we get it. We get the idea. So you talking about somebody making 60+ thousand a month.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping,
and he's so nervous when them folks pull him in. He thinking about the weed. He's not thinking about the guns.
Oh.
It's crazy. Crazy. So okay, let's go around the board.
I hope that somebody patent what he did, because you already know that somebody's about to do this, right? You already know someone's going to do this. Someone's going to do this. And because if you think about like for instance, I never thought I would see aspirin and BC powders and stuff in the vending machine, but you see that in vending machines now, right? You see cigarettes. They got cigarettes in vending machine. They got all this stuff. Yes.
You go bowling. You can get a pair of socks from the vending machine.
But I'm referring to just the only thing I have not seen, which I'm pretty sure they probably have it somewhere, is alcohol in vending machines, right? But they actually, somebody's gonna patent this, and somebody's gonna make a killing.
It may already be patented for it to be made. It's already patented.
Yeah, the person. Yeah, because my thinking is the person who probably patented it, he probably paid him to build it for him, right?
Yeah.
Now he ain't gonna give him the patent. He just gonna build it for him and show him how it works.
Right. You just thought of, yeah, it's like but it's a digital, it's not one of those manual vending machines.
Yeah.
It's a digital.
Yeah.
Well, and so you do have what it sounds like is somebody rewired or recoded. So
They saw
now
they did. They
on a lot of Coke
recoded, and
machines,
he used different words, so they wouldn't use and give me a 20 bag of.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So yeah, on like these Coke machines now, it's all touchscreen.
Right, and so that's what he had, and
Yeah.
and from my understanding, this is what was a big concern with government using. They were saying, according to them, this is how they move transfer money with crypto, as well as far as laundering money from one country to the other.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got cryptocurrency vending. ATM machines now.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can actually start doing crypto on your Cash App, Venmo. All of them are allowing you access to invest in crypto.
Right.
Bitcoin and Ethereum, like the main two that they really do.
Right. I know in the beginning stage, I know a lot of the cartel was using that to move money faster with
money.
Instead of walking around with big duffel bags and briefcases and stuff like that.
I mean, he did this for 4 years, but I'm looking at this eventually like he really set himself up for failure because, I mean, eventually you're gonna get caught, whether he told on himself or not. And it's a good system that he had going, but I mean, what is it if you get locked up and you got fair time? So you know what I'm saying? My grandfather always told me, don't ever shit where you eat. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
so for him to have it right there at his house.
That's crazy.
Man. Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's I'm just wondering, how you have Daniel, like you the OG when we were growing up, right? So
right.
I'm like, what OG passed that? What OG told him that was cool?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Because either OG told him that was cool to do it like that, or he went against the OG.
Yeah. And then from my understanding, what they said was he grew up in that house, so he been there all his life.
That's crazy.
Been there all his life. And my thing is, you making more than enough money, right?
More
to have moved that business outside of your family home, bro. That's all I'm saying.
More than enough money not to be selling guns. How about that?
I was about to say selling the guns out of
If I'm making $60,000 on there, why do I need to sell guns?
And the way he had it set up with the cameras and all that, the way
it was genius.
It was genius, man.
He didn't have to physically be there. He never had to worry about physically getting robbed.
So yes, and so imagine this person working for a company. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the thing is, most guys who hustle, especially if a person like him, like they have a business mind, right? They have a business mind. It's just the fact that they doing the wrong type of business. They doing
This money comes in a lot faster.
Yeah, well,
I will say this. At 40, as soon as you hit 40, whatever you're doing, you might want to reconsider. I'm gonna say that. You don't want to go down. I mean, because 20 years in joint, you at 40, that you ain't got a whole lot of time. Now, versus a man who in his 20s, he take more risks. And again, I'm not condoning it, but I'm saying he got more time to gamble with versus the man who's 40 plus years old. 100%. He's 42 years old. So
because he gonna do what? He gonna spend. If he got fair time, he's spending
at least 10. At least 10.
Yeah, at least 10.
Because one, he's selling guns to minors, what they said.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, and probably had minors, because we got a problem going on right here in Atlanta right now, to where it is still very popular.
Yeah.
For minors, mostly minors, minors are being caught on cameras, breaking into cars, stealing weapons.
Yeah.
Right. And so, if for them to get him and take him off the street, right? I'm pretty sure that whole gun setup is a lot of what's happening here in Atlanta as well. And so, that's one of those where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
So, like you said, he didn't even know why they was there.
Right.
Right. So he just gave up.
Because he had so much stuff going on.
That's what that means. That means he had so much stuff going on. He couldn't even put he couldn't pinpoint what the hell they were talking about.
Yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know what they was there for.
And he wasn't smart enough. You know what? He wasn't smart enough to just shut up and say, "Let me call my lawyer."
Yeah, call my lawyer.
Hey, Danielle, I'm glad you ain't put us in that position, OG.
he was making enough money to say, "You know what? Let me shut up and call my lawyer."
Yeah. Let me go ahead. One month's salary. I could go ahead and push that to my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? And not say a word.
Right. He should have just got arrested and stayed quiet. And as soon as they asked him, "Do you got anything?" Yes, call my lawyer. And that should have been the end of that.
100%. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move forward. So save the best for last. Again, me and Cleve, we did a show. We just paid homage for Kevin Samuel. So this morning, I was watching Roland Martin show.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed. So on the Roland Martin show, he wasn't on this show, but it's his show, but he wasn't present. Okay. So they had 4 people on the panel. I don't know this lady name. It started with a K. I want to say Kelly or something. I couldn't get her name. I was trying to find out what her name was. I couldn't find it. But anyway, she said that she, well, I just hate that, I'm empathizing with him because Kevin's mother, she found out through social media that her son was passed away. She had no idea that her son was dead. Mm-hmm. So, which is a bad thing. But I understand that too, because if you living in a different state or a different country, you're not going to be the first person to know. You may be
popular. Then he's a celebrity as well.
But he's a very private person though. Mm-hmm. He's not walking around like a basketball, an athlete. We're talking about a social media celebrity. It's not the same. It don't hold the same type of weight.
Right.
So this lady pretty much said, when you get guys, if you ain't already watched it, please, it's not long. But anyway, she was just pretty much said, well, I'm just glad that toxic is flushed out. And I'm like, golly. And I'm looking at this lady. So then they got 2 other guys on there. And then I want to hear what the other guy said. Now, he didn't talk as vicious as the woman did. She talked pretty vicious, called the man toxic. She glad that toxicity is flushed down the toilet. He bashed black woman and da. She just went on about how he made, talk bad about black woman, and he's very misogynistic. I mean, she didn't hold back. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking one of the brothers was going to say something
on his behalf.
Nope. They pretty much agreed. They just softened the blow. Went to the next guy, softened the blow. And the other guy finally said, well, yeah, I mean, one thing I agree that, naturally guys are really not, we're not attracted to plus size women. So when he said that, the woman who was on the panel, she's a plus size woman.
You already know, hit dog or holler.
The first thing came out of her mouth. Now she looked like she in her 40s. She said, "Oh, I don't have a problem with dating. So before I open up the table, man, I just thought it was crazy. And let me say this too before I forget. Neither one of those people they didn't listen to enough of his content to sum that up. All I'm saying, well, I really didn't listen to him. Well, I didn't listen to him, but then she had to really look at what was said. So somebody pretty much, she done either did it herself or somebody, maybe it's assistant or somebody, just put out some negative stuff that he have said, but she didn't get the entirety of what Kevin Samuel was talking about. It's like reading the Bible. You know how people just give you a scripture, but they don't read let's start from the top and then let's roll all the way, that type of thing. So let me say that I thought it was bad. I thought it was awful. And I feel it's bad, first of all, to wish death upon anybody, which death is inevitable. We all going to leave here. But to wish this man death. If you're not a fan, you didn't have to watch him. If you didn't like him, you didn't have to listen to him. For you to say that he bashed a woman, you didn't really listen to his content.
You did.
You know, that's what that told me. So before I open up the table, I just wanted to say this right here. My question, which I know they probably don't listen to us, we're a small channel, but do you think that he was 100% wrong about everything he said? You know, that was the first question hit my head. I'm like, do you think he's 100% wrong on everything he said? Now, is it wrong for him wanting the numbers to go up for marriage? Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Is it wrong to talk about our health and obesity, us being as black people, some of the biggest people on the planet, particularly in America? It's a conversation we need to talk about, both male and female. It's not a you know. Who is this? It's Grant. Who is this? Can you shout out my oldest cousin? Happy birthday,
Dan Gleebles.
Happy birthday, Dan Gleebles.
Birthday, Dan Cleveland.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. And while we got it, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies.
Yeah, and happy Mother's Day to all the ladies. But
yeah,
I feel I mean the thing is they didn't listen to the man content. You know, again, like me and Cleveland said, I don't agree with everything about everything that came out of his mouth, which you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But did he just literally bash black women? No, he did not. No, he did not. You know, he was really trying to get those sisters who was unrealistic to be realistic, letting them know, okay, I'm not telling you to settle, but I'm telling you to be realistic. Like, okay, if you got that size on you, then yeah, and you talk, you know, it matters.
Yeah. Well, especially for the caliber.
It matters. For you to say that marriage, when he asks you whether you're married or whatever, and our numbers are going down in the community as far as being married and couples, that matters. So he talked about some things. Now, I wasn't a fan of the high value thing or whatever. I look beyond that. And so for them to try to, I mean, she talking, then on top of that, how can you wish this much hate on a person that you don't personally know?
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know the man. Okay, gentlemen, the table is open. Oh my God.
I go first. First of all, 84% of his followers is women. So for women to say that he's bashing women, apparently
they called them weak for listening to him.
Apparently
they call those 84% weak.
Apparently 84% of these women like to hear him bash women if that's what he's doing, but that's not what he's doing. It takes for a person to listen to a whole show or two in order for you to see that. No, I didn't like. I like Dan, you said, I don't care for the high value man, because that small percentage of people are 90% of our women are going after that man. You know what I'm saying? That small percentage of men, 90 something percent of our women are going after that man. So it really, you know, makes the average man, you know, look like, you know, he's not worthy of being with a woman. So no, I don't care for the high value man, but what he does, he explains to you what men should look for,
right,
and what women should look for.
Right.
He gives you, because for years we didn't understand what we should be doing or what we should be looking for or where we should be. So he gives you a visual of, okay, this man makes this amount of money. I want to live, you know, for the women. I want this, that, and the third. Okay, from a man. Okay, cool. He tell you, cool. That's what you want. But what does that
What
man?
does he want? Yep.
What does he want?
Mm-hmm.
So he give you a visual of what, and also what a woman should expect from a man who wants that. So if you want that man, then guess what? You got to do those things. But if you don't, here's the average man who don't want all that you could get, which is really 94% of men.
Right. So let me, Clay, I'm not sorry for interrupting. I just want to answer.
Yeah, I see this question.
He says that because of what I said, what you don't agree about high value. I don't like the term high value because it sends out, to me, is always misunderstood what that meant when people was talking. I constantly listen. I listen to a lot of his shows. So I don't like certain terms like that. Just like I don't like the term alpha. You know, I just feel like if you're a man, you're a man. You know, where I'm from, I've seen a lot of quiet motherfuckers can get down. Do that mean he's you know, he's not an alpha because he's not walking around bravado beating his chest? No, he's still a man. You still must respect that. I don't like the term high value because, again, in our society, most of us don't fit in that category that he's talking about. We're average men, and average men are not. Okay, hold on a second, but he typed something else. So the thing is, so I don't like those terms. And so that's all I'm saying is that, to me, a valued man is somebody who is an upright man. So my definition of high value man is not the same as his, if I would use that term. To me, you don't have to make $100,000 for 5 years or 10 years, whatever that number, I forget what he used. To me, to use that term to say that you're high value,
right?
That's my meaning. That's
right.
That's what I'm standing on. So
right.
Okay. So let me answer you. What's your next one? He got something else here. What about the term modern woman? Modern woman, that does exist.
That's woman of today. That's
woman of today. Just like modern men of today.
Yeah.
So those terms, I can get on board with that, because that's talking about today's woman versus, you know, this is modern day woman. This is right now in the present.
Right.
So he's always compared the modern woman. He always used that term modern woman because they weren't like your moms, or they wasn't like our grandmothers or your great grandmothers for that point. So on that part, Players for Life, that's where I'm at with it. But again, if you making that amount of money, I'm not knocking you. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying,
but it's more than the money. It's more than the money.
For that guy to be consistent, making a decent living, he got roof over his head, taking care of his family. To me, that's all the value. That's value enough for me.
but it's more than just the money thing.
Right. But
everybody is.
That was one of his things that when he always broke it down. He said for a certain amount of years, X amount of dollars. He did say that on several occasions.
Yeah. He said just being able to sustain 100,000 for at least 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then he had a long list of other things, right? That was a part of the overall high value. Right.
And Players for Life, and that's where again, I mean, I don't agree with everything that he talked about, but for the most part, he definitely has some good points. Overall, he definitely has some great points. He was entertaining as well, he was funny as well, and he had the stacks to go with it.
And
so
listen, as far as
that, I mean, I was a supportive of him, but I don't agree with everything that nobody says.
Yeah, I mean,
everybody Players for Life, not even you.
Right. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. So you know what I'm saying? We all gonna think, you know what I'm saying, different perspectives of every situation. So.
Right. And we all can define something totally different. We could be looking at the same thing and then we can define something totally different.
Yep.
You know, and that's all about respecting one's mind. You know, it's also respecting one's choice. You know, what's meaningful for you might not be meaning for me.
100%.
But here's the thing. He for me, the whole high value and all that. Yeah, I follow it. I understand it. You know, I follow and understand it. But for me, he was about the family core and what family means: husband, wife, children.
Right.
You know, that's what he spoke. That was the biggest point that he, you know, one of the reasons why I follow him and I rocked with him, because that was his biggest thing. It was
Right.
it was family, you know.
But thank you for your comment, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on top of that, if we don't agree with him, we don't wish
It's okay.
him death.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that
It don't
that's
necessarily
the whole
mean I
thing
threw him
with all
to the side. Yeah, because see, the thing about when people, this is how we are today in this society. You disagree with one thing from a person, and all of a sudden he's supposed to just rot in hell, and you supposed to be, you know, just removed from society. No, I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that no matter who we are, friends, best friends, brothers, sisters, hell, it could be my mother. I'm not agreeing with everything come out of her mouth. That's just me. You know, because I think for myself, I'm an individual, and I know that, you know, I'm different myself. So I can't think everything. I can't think what you're thinking. I don't know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? But as a human being, as a man, I'm going to respect what you think. I'm going to respect your views, and I hope you respect mine. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with everything that, you know, Daniel and Cleveland has said so far, because Kevin Samuels, like, Cleveland put me on to him, you know, a while back, and when I started listening to him, y'all right, like, the content was there. Like, you could sit up here and say, anybody could say, like, the man wasn't liked, but you got that many followers, and then when you leave this world, may you rest in peace, you know, you have that much of an uproar. You know, everybody knows this man, you know what I'm saying? So clearly he was doing something right. And if he had that many haters, you know what I'm saying, and he was that big, it doesn't even make sense to me. So so basically he was getting some type of message across that was that the women and the men were engaged to, because it's like, I don't like what he's saying, but I can't stop listening to him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, what is this man supposed to do? Like, he knows what he's talking about. He's been doing this for a long time. He was doing it for a long time. And not only that, like, all the stuff that women were saying on Twitter, like, I'm not judging them. It's just the fact they're like, that's karma, and that's, you know, I'm glad he gone, and all that stuff that I was seeing on there. But, you know what I'm saying, like, you don't wish death on nobody, man. That's just my opinion.
Right.
You know?
So it's crazy to me, and I say that for those people who, the ones who were shouting out on all these platforms, you know, celebrating this man's death, guess what? That means he proved he was right in that aspect. We have a problem in our community.
We do. We
so
do.
With that being said, and I'm just gonna I want to hear y'all honest opinion. How can I put this? Are the women in our society, or the black women in particular, can they be? Is it possible for them to be constructive? Can they use constructive criticism? Is that a fair thing to do? They beyond criticism? Are they above criticism where we can't voice our opinion? Now, they can say about us, or they can call us broke, short, they call us fat, they can say we're nasty, they can say we don't make enough money, they can say we drive a raggedy car, pay my bill. We've heard all of that. But then when we try to voice our opinion, why is it that we're villainized because we saying something from our truth, from our experience, from what we see, or something that we've been through?
Because no one has held them accountable.
But are they above criticism? That's my question.
I don't think so.
Nah.
But why are we? Well, why is it every time that when we're talking, in most cases, I'm saying not guys on this platform, I notice on that platform, those guys, that particularly the one on the Roland Martin show, you could tell they were skating. Everybody was walking on.
Yeah.
Nice, you know, and you could tell this is a liberated show that's being sponsored by a particular political group. I understood. I saw straight through it. So everybody wanted to skate. They want to talk too bad about it because they don't want to lose their position with where they are, and they don't want to rub people the wrong way only because of how they thought about Kevin Samuels. Now, again, we're supposed to be so-called Americans. What happened to freedom of speech? What happened to freedom of choice? What happened to freedom of expression?
But that's why, because of that platform that you said, nobody wants to be the one to say what needs to be said, and then it falls back on them. That's the reason why. You know what I'm saying?
They cancel everybody. They cancel everybody. You know, and it's funny because soon it's like for instance, I've seen them saying, you know, calling him gay, calling him, you know, which I know it. Believe me, if he was gay, and
in Atlanta, somebody would have been got called out.
But not only that, Daniel, not only that, you're not gonna go against a gay man. It's today's society. You're not.
No.
You're not gonna do that. So if this man
gay men don't attack black women.
You'll be too scared. You'll be too scared to. So cut that whole he was gay or whatever.
I agree with you, Players for Life. Players for Life said his show proved that they cannot be criticized.
Yeah, they can't. They can't.
Well, so while they can be criticized, but you're not gonna be able to criticize them without any repercussion.
Yes.
There you go.
Right. So yeah, it's not that they can't be criticized, because anybody can be criticized.
Right.
But you're gonna be met with such disdain, right?
Right.
And such attack, right? And the thing about it is the loudest person in the room ain't necessarily right.
Right.
Right. But you know, this particular society is, you know, it leads you to believe that the loudest person in the room is telling the truth, and that's not the case.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, John. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and with Kevin, man, sometimes we detach, like, you know, if we're not related to somebody, right, or we're not friends with somebody, we tend to detach the reality of, hey, just like a parent, just like a friend of yours, or another family member. We have family members that say things a lot. We have friends that say things a lot that we don't necessarily agree with. At the end of the day, you still love and respect those people. In this man's case here, he was not allowed, right? After he spoke his truth, and a lot of his truth was rooted in statistics.
Right.
And that's the thing that a lot of folks don't like to talk about. And so what'll happen is he'll say something and he'll say, look, I'm verbally saying this, but the information is out there.
Right.
So he backed up a lot of what he said with statistics.
Right.
And so, you know, I'll say this. When he backed it up with statistics, what I've learned is if you're not ready, right, to receive the message, you're not going to receive the message. And oftentimes, if that message didn't have to do with balloons and a dog and pony show, right, and somebody kissing your butt,
right,
you just weren't willing to receive it. But what I am very glad of, while it's sad that the information, I was hoping it wasn't true. While it's very sad that you know, he has passed away, I am just very grateful and thankful that he was able to put out a ton of content.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And because of that, right, there's still a lot of people that were still just catching on to Kevin Samuel. But I think because of it, because it wasn't just men that was celebrating. Y'all just gave the number. It wasn't just men, but he had shows where he allowed women to call in to say thank you.
Right.
He had women to call in and say thank you, and that, hey, what you shared with me has changed my life, right? Has improved, has helped my marriage and all those things. So I don't think that there's no one person, man or woman, that's all bad, all wrong, right? At the end of the day, though, he put out this content and it was definitely helping people. So while some people may not have saw it as help, you know, that's just like, you know, a doctor may prescribe medication for you that may not have helped you, but it's helped somebody else. Otherwise, they would have taken it off the shelf.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just because what he was putting out there, the medicine that he was giving you, didn't necessarily work for you, it didn't mean that it wasn't working for somebody else.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah. And then I'll say one more thing, and then I say one more thing. I say this to people all the time. So if you were a black man, right, and it was a white guy, or if you was a straight man or a straight woman, and it was a gay man or woman, right, And let's just say you were in a restaurant, right? You ate something and you was choking. Now the person to the left of you is somebody you can't stand, but you was choking to death. And that person saved your life. In that moment, did it matter whether or not they were white or black, gay or straight?
Right.
It just mattered that they saved your life, right?
Right. You just want somebody that got to save your life.
You just wanted somebody to say, yeah. So
that's
so
right.
what I'm saying at So what I'm saying at the end of the day, is while I appreciated that man, you know what I'm saying, I appreciated him. I appreciated, him from putting himself out there. Because people think that's easy to do.
It's not.
He put himself out there. He put himself in front of the gun every time he posted a video.
He did.
Yeah.
What I'm glad about is that he didn't allow the naysayers, right, to knock him off his pivot, right, or to knock him off his
purpose,
off his platform. He kept pushing forward, and I think as a result of that, not only has he already helped a lot of people because of the content that's out there, he will continue to help people.
Yeah, right. And the community is coming together. Men are talking. We having conversation. We talking.
And that's what I was about to say. I was about to say conversations are being talked about more because of Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, because
not so much that men trying to bash women or degrade women. Again, overall, it had nothing to do with that. Again, it had layers to it. You did have some entertainment. You did waiting on somebody to call in and say something crazy so Kevin could get at him. It was comical at times, but his overall message was all about statistics. And the crazy part too, man, they even used the word cult with this man. They said he had a cult following.
A cult following.
I said, wow.
They just wanted to figure out a way to knock him off his pedestal, just like you guys been saying, man.
And so his point is well driven. Again, I know we said it on the previous show, but again, I can't say I gotta say it again. Here we are talking about a well-spoken man, very intelligent, very respectable until he was disrespected.
Right.
Patience.
He was patient. He was patient, but he was also direct, and he was brutally direct sometimes. Yeah, and a lot of people, why did he say it like that? And why did and again, that's who he is. It's like your granddaddy or somebody in your family. Everybody says things you might not like their tone, but that don't necessarily mean that they was a bad person. And again, like I say before, it's not about. Sometimes you try to you looking at the person, you try to kill the messenger, get past the messenger and look at the message and ask yourself this question, male or female, that's melanated like us. Do we or do we not have a problem in the black community? Be honest.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
And have women, black women, not all, have adopted a lot of feminist rhetoric directly or indirectly. Like I've said before, the black man we did not oppress you. We was in bondage together. We went through Jim Crow together. We went through segregation together. We didn't separate us from you, the men from the woman. When they were signing the civil rights bill, we didn't say, well, all men do. No. We was very inclusive because we
supported the whole women movement. We supported the whole women movement.
But my point of what I'm saying is, Cleve, really, that's what I'm saying. And this is how we get caught up. This is how they get caught up because they look at what these other groups and they jump into these groups, but these groups really don't have the best interest for us at heart. That's all I'm saying. They don't have our best interest for us. They're not trying to keep the black family together. That's not even on their agenda. Right. Even the politicians that look like us. That's not their concern. That's not their concern. They don't care nothing about your family. They don't care nothing about your community. They don't live in your community. And we got to stop thinking just because a politician look like us, they in our best interest. That's not true.
No, it's not.
So get past the democracy. I don't get to the politics. The Democrat, I could care less about that because I understand that no matter who's in there, economics moves it all and controls it all. I understand that. So I don't get into I'm a Democrat and I'm a Republican, whatever. I don't trust none of them.
No, that should.
And when we talking about the people in America, I don't trust none of them.
Yeah.
When it comes to politics.
Yeah.
You know, so that's my stance on that. But our females have to understand, stop trying to separate yourself. And that's where we're getting this resistance from us, because we do love you. We do want to see us to be together. We do. And again, you know, they see these athletes, they go, oh, they go run to the white. That's a small percentage. For the most part, black man is still with the black woman.
Yes.
But we having some problems with, like I said before on previous shows, you know, because of positions at work, you might be in a higher position. You got to take that supervisor hat off when you come into the house if we're going to exist as a couple. Because a man do not want somebody trying to tell him what to do in his home. Period. That's just how we're designed. That's how we're wired up. Period. It's nothing against the woman. And I know for a fact, y'all got to understand this. You know, even if you don't like Kevin, you got to say, you know what? At some point, you can't say he is 100% wrong.
Right.
Not with over a million listeners, he can't be 100% wrong.
Yeah, and 84% of his listeners are women. Come on now.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say this, for those people that they talking about he bashed, they call his show
Voluntarily.
Ask him for his opinion.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, we were like audience waiting because we knew most of them were being they not realistic. We're popcorns. We get like, you know, that's how we was. It was entertaining, but at the same time, it was educational because it was showing us how a lot of these females think. Not all, but a lot of them, how they're thinking. Yeah. And all Kevin was saying is, if you reevaluate your thoughts, instead of shooting for this so-called high value man, you might want to get you, since you're a average woman, get you an average man, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he would hit the end button on them quick though. He repeat himself.
And so that's all, and that's all he's saying. So basically, he was trying to help you find somebody if you just humble yourself down and stop. He's not saying settle in or whatever, but he's saying, hey, come on, be realistic, and which is true.
Right.
You can't have a lot of kids and you expecting all this extra stuff. Yeah. You can't. It's you got to shorten that list now because your situation is different. That's all he's saying.
Right.
And it goes the same thing for the male. Mm-hmm. And so he wasn't bashing them. He was really trying to be. He was much more of an advocate than anything.
But because Dan, if you think about it, if a person was to actually think about it, like you wouldn't tell your child to go out and have a whole bunch of kids by a whole bunch of different
and try to find the best candidate,
and then think that you're gonna find
this type of guy. You right, distinguished gentleman who has no kids, has his all career together, and you got 2 or 3 kids. Nothing against you having your children. Children are a beautiful thing, but he is looking at that scenario, going, "That's not a good scenario."
Or
in most cases, mm-hmm. and let me say this, and I'm a stepfather, and I looked at it like that.
Would you tell your son, hey? If your son was to come to you and say, hey, I met a woman, she got 5 kids, 3 baby daddies, two of them ex-cons, killers, I think I want to marry him.
I tell my son, hey, stop right there. We don't need to finish this conversation.
But women won't look at it like that. They look at it like, I want what I want when I want it, but not thinking that you're marrying or you're trying to be with someone's child. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't put your son in that situation. You wouldn't give him the advice to go marry this woman. No.
Right. And another thing the lady was saying, she was like, oh, he also said, I don't know if the guy or the female said it, something about age 35. And they again, it went over their head. These are people who didn't watch his show that was talking about him. He was only talking about when he started reaching that time, that age, he was talking about your biological clock for reproduction. He was saying that at this point, you're at a higher risk. Mm-hmm. At this point, you probably already got a few kids. Mm-hmm. So you need to be a lot more attentive and try to hurry up and get yourself situated in, because he's saying that most men want kids. That's all he was saying. So for them to, again, all they did was just grab the negative, and that's how we are as society. We can you could be 80% right, but you bet that 20 gonna overshadow that 80% that you did good. And it shouldn't be that way. And that's why I say we got to learn how to separate the message from the messenger, you know. And we do it all the time. We want to just one time somebody do one mistake, it overshadows all the good they've ever done, which is crazy to me.
That's so true.
Yeah,
that's so true.
It makes no sense. So, man, we're gonna bring this thing to a close. I enjoyed you guys. I was at a different location last week, so I had to push it back. But hopefully we can do this again next Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. I might. Hopefully the baby be here. We'll see. But your last words, Brother Terrell, what you want to say, man? What's on your mind and your heart?
I appreciate that, man. Thank you guys for inviting me on. I definitely appreciate it. I always enjoy having a chat with y'all. I want to say congratulations to you before I close out, man.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, just I'm supporting you. See, I
appreciate it, man. You look good in that shirt. For those in Atlanta, y'all contact myself or contact Cleve. For those in Atlanta, they up there.
Absolutely love the shirt, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody that's watching to like and subscribe, because what I'm saying, this platform right here, like I told Cleveland the other day, man, I'm really proud of y'all, man. This is
man. Thank you.
It's a huge movement right here. I love it. So
yeah,
I've
man.
been sharing all the time. So
thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Like I say, we're just trying to, like I told Cleve, man, and it we get times where I get a little frustrated at times, because I've seen some guys, they right here. I'm in Dominican Republic, so some of these guys, they just pull out their phone and they just go straight to the beach and show some tail, and all of a sudden they just blow up. And I just don't want to be I don't want to fall up under that category. That's a bad look. That's a bad look for me. And it may work for them. They single guys, they younger guys. I'm a married man. I can't be walking around, filming women in bikini or whatever. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind looking, but I'm just saying.
Right.
But yeah, man. On that note, man, go ahead, Cleve. What you got?
Oh, no. Appreciate you, T, for coming through. A lot of shirt. Look good on you.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, share our content. And we gotta, fellas, listen, black men, we really have to come together, man, and get back control of our communities, man. And Kevin Samuel, he started it, and I mean, we just gotta finish what he started. And that's it.
Yeah. And I want to say too, I've listened to other shows where guys were really bashing women, and they got thousands, tens of thousands of followers. And I mean, bashing them. I mean, talking bad about them. Kevin didn't come like that. He didn't come like that, And from my opinion, and again, I'm not going to call any name. Just looking at those guys, I can tell they've been hurt. Now, those are the ones I did feel that was hurt, and they was coming from a place of being hurt, of being manipulated by a female in their life. Which in life we all going to. That's the part we don't understand in life. Whether you're male or female, we all going to get our heart broken. There no man walk this earth or woman walk this earth without having somebody to break up with them, and it felt so bad, and you feel like you don't want to go down this road again. But that's what you call a growing pain. And so some people hurt so bad they don't want to get back into a relationship no more because of that one incident. And you saying that, and I look at people, and again, to each his own, but I refuse to because I had a bad experience with a woman to make my future decisions.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that one woman don't
here we are. We talking about three guys on this panel right now who've been married, divorced, and married again.
Yeah.
So for us, to me, that shows that, that bad experience that we went through, which we did, because again, in our heart, we wanted to be the one married, end all be all. That's what we went in like that, But sometimes bad things happen to good people. You know, it's called life. You know, you're not exempt from it. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care what you religion. You're not exempt from it. Bad things happen to good people too. On that note, man, I'm out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.